Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the Wednesday edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. My name is Genda Peldrin Blanche King. We begin today's edition of the news from the northwest region of the country, where a crusade was organized by the Bamenda City Council to usher inhabitants of the northwest region into a new year, a peaceful and prosperous new year, with hopes of peace and an end to calls for ghost towns called by separatists in the region. During the crusade, Northwest Governor Adolphe Lele-L'Afrique announced a special program to end ghost town in the region to begin from Monday, January 4, 2020. Charles Kibwa tells us more from the Northwest region.
A crusade organized by the Bamenda City Council to thank God and usher the inhabitants of the city of Bamenda into what authorities of the Bamenda City Council hope through prayers the walls of Jericho will fall down and there will be a peaceful and prosperous New Year 2021 took place 29 December 2020 at the explanade of the Northwest Governor's Office. In the presence of the governor and other top administrative officials in the region, the crusade dubbed Kill the Ghost Town Phenomenon. Bamenda City Council Mayor Paul Achombong said the past 4 years with the persistent ghost town phenomenon, kidnaps, killings, and destruction of property has never benefited the population. Those time the ghost town phenomenon be killed.
If anyone has any argument against the ghost town, bring it on the table, let's put it together. We concert and see if this ghost town has any profit. For me, I've looked at it in and out, and ghost town has no profit. Yesterday was bad, today it's bad, and it's bad forever. So we talk on that situation, we're making it clear to our people that we don't need it.
Appreciating the city mayor of Bamenda for his many initiatives to quell the situation, Northwest Governor Adolphe Lele-L'Afrique announced a special program as from the 4th of January 2020 to end the ghost town phenomenon. Said with projects realized at 50% in the region, is proof the crisis situation in the region is improving.
That was low-key last year is now coming close to 50% of realization, meaning that the situation is improving bit by bit. The coming back to normalcy, that was still a dream, is coming back bit by bit. In the security domain, thanks to our security forces, we have been able to reduce insecurity in the major street roads of the region.
The entire population of the region has been mobilized to usher in the new year 2021, coming with a new beginning for the Northwest region and the city of Bamenda, with more peace, collaboration, and living together amongst the population.
Some internally displaced persons residing in the west region of the country are calling on the head of state for assistance. They claim they've not benefited from any gift offered to internally displaced persons in Cameroon and feel abandoned. Lasha Kinsley in the following report.
Some internally displaced persons of the Anglophone crisis living in Tonga neighborhood in the west region of Cameroon have expressed dissatisfaction with the manner in which presidential gifts to IDPs are often shared. They say since 2019 that they wrote their names, they have never benefited from the largesse of the president. According to this teacher, who preferred to be called George, who left the Northwest region some 3 years ago, like some of his peers, have never received any gift from the president.
An internal displaced person from Northwest region of Cameroon who has been living in Tonga subdivision of the western region of Cameroon for about 3 years. We have been hearing that the head of state has been helping internal displaced persons from northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon all over the country. They were also hearing last year they wrote our names that they are going to give us gifts that the head of state has given. We have never received anything. We have never heard of it again. So that is why we are pleading with the power that be to find out and then help us. There are so many internal displaced persons here from Kitunja Division, Bue Division, and Boyo Division respectively. And then what the people of Tonga also did is to increase the school fees and the house rents also for us to make life very difficult to us, of which we heard that the head of state said the internal displaced persons will not pay school fees for their kids. But our own here is a different story also. So that is why I'm pleading with...
This other IDP laments that he lost everything while escaping from the conflict in Momo division of the northwest region of Cameroon, but has never benefited anything from the president. He says he has been abandoned to himself.
Come out for Acha 2 years. Now I'm 4 years I did for here.
For Tonga.
I did for Tonga 4 years. They don't write my name. They say they go help. Government they go help. They no help, no nothing. That place I run for Acha 2 years in Momo division for day. I don't run, leave all my team, no nothing, even my cap I not take up. I come for here. I did only so far. They don't write my name. No be me one. We did plenty the right name. They say they go help me. Just come reach today so. Even no nothing, they not give you no nothing. We do only for so far. We only here for here say that the help will not. I no see no nothing. I did here for here said that the help for different place for me for Tonga here. No nothing. They no give no one man. I no see I'm the one they give.
It should be recalled that President Paul Biya recently ordered the disbursement of 600 million francs CFA to purchase gifts for IDPs across the national territory to spend end-of-year festivities.
Darling Gonde revisits the story of home violence following new revelations from victim who was allegedly poured hot water by pastor's wife. Her reports.
While there still seems to be in-depth investigations into the story that broke the airwaves after Christmas of this gospel singer, Vanessa Kim, who got poured off hot water by her clergy, prophetess Grace, over claims for the former having erotic ties with the latter's husband. Vanessa, the victim, now breaks the silence with her own side of the story.
Marie nous a supplié que récemment, prenez 20 000 ici là, la semaine prochaine, je vais vous donner votre argent. Quand on est sorti pour partir, c'est là où elle m'a appelé. According
to sources, the entire controversy began from a non-concession by the prophetess over Vanessa's performance at the Tour of Light concert on December the 27th this year, which she finally made her way through after sustaining the first-degree burns. The incident, which occurred at the perpetrator's residence at the Kamer neighborhood in Douala, had the gospel artists and others in that vicinity with the aim of reclaiming the balance prevailed for their performance during the concert. However, she finally did not return home directly as she was baptized with hot water, which was intended to cook gari. But the other part of the story, which Vanessa now reveals, is what has left many wondering.
Donc, il est tombé, elle est venue me taper maintenant. Elle dit que dans your next life, you will not do that again. Elle est partie maintenant prendre le couteau.
Although many online users claim there is usually no smoke without fire, further investigations now reveal the prophet's own side of the story, who happens to be the man in question.
Je suis l'homme de Dieu et je connais le fille là, elle est innocente. Elle est innocente, moi je suis innocent. So, moi et ma famille, et la famille de ma femme, oui, on a arrangé avec la famille de Vanessa et avec Vanessa.
While both the accused husband and the victim maintained their innocence, the wife to the man of God had been subdued for public apology by the victim upon her arrest by the police, which she immediately did as read. My sincere apology to a friend, a sister, and her family. I'm so sorry for all the hurts and pains I have caused you. Please, I'm sorry again and want you to find a place in your heart and forgive me. I love you as a sister. I'm so sorry for everything everything done. She further wrote, "Please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. Friends, please tell her to forgive me." As of now, the hospital bills have been levied on the Prophet's family, while the wife, who was apprehended by the police, has now been released upon fulfilling the victim's demand. But however, since her liberation, the Prophetess now takes refuge at her home, according to her husband, as she maintains she was only boiling water to stir some gari for the kids upon Vanessa's arrival.
At least 15 individuals have been injured following yesterday's clash between mixed forces and civilians in Djoum, Etape-Konteng in the French language.
La scène se déroule dans le village de Kolafindek, situé dans l'arrondissement de Djoum, département du Ndiaye-Lobo, région du centre. Il paraît que beaucoup de choses auraient été détruites en raison de l'exécution des travaux sur le tronçon Pikoula-Djoum, 40 km. En colère, les populations manifestent en réclamant à l'État leur indemnisation impayée depuis plus de 11 ans. Les policiers, les gendarmes et les militaires, tous contre les civils, jettent de projectiles et gaz lacrymogènes. C'est de violents coups d'échange entre eux. Bilan, 15 blessés.
Entre les civils et les hommes maltenus, les civils ne peuvent pas faire la guerre avec les hommes maltenus parce que les civils n'étaient pas armés. Donc, il y a même beaucoup de blessés. Il y a beaucoup de blessés qu'on a déjà amenés et il y a même d'autres qui sont encore au coma.
Par ailleurs, quelques blessés ont été transférés à l'hôpital pour des soins intensifs. Toutefois, malgré le calme apporté par le sous-préfet, les populations entendent continuer les manifestations jusqu'à ce que leur indemnisation soit payée.
Inmates of the Kumba Principal Prison have received food items and other basic materials from a group of youth-led organizations. The gifts were shared yesterday, encouraging inclusion, especially during these moments or these times of festivities. As our reporter, Tamfu Sidwan Dimbia, tells us from the Southwest region.
Inmates at the Kumba Central Prison have received food items, clothing and bedding materials from some youth-led organizations. These started with a charity football match organized by these youth-led organizations intended to give a moral booster to inmates at the Kumba Production Prison as they commune with them to begin the new year 2021.
We are here to celebrate with them. December is the festive period, which we think we have brothers there, sisters there, that we can share with them.
According to members of these associations, they decided to reach out to prisoners at the Kumba Principal Prison because they are still part of the human race despite their present circumstances.
We are all equal unless you don't know how life can turn. Nobody was born a prisoner.
The young leaders contributed and afforded food items, clothing and bedding materials which were taken to the Kumba Principal Prison today. Even though they are in prison, some of them might still be innocent.
Not all of them that are there are guilty or not.
Some of them can be innocent also, so it's not really like prisoners are that bad.
And even if you are guilty, doesn't mean you can't change.
They also believe that the charity football match will help boost the morale of inmates as they cross over to 2021.
To motivate, encourage, boost the morals of inmates.
This prison personnel believes that the initiative is lofty and says being in prison does not give people any opportunity to reject or look down on inmates. They dine and wine with the inmates and also promise to do more as time goes on. As they commune with the inmates, they send a message to the world to always take the challenge to give assistance to those in jail.
The new Executive Bureau of the United Councils and Cities of Cameroon for the Southwest region has been officially installed. The new executive members took office in the presence of Mayor Tamba Augustine in his capacity as national president of the association. Kumar Norimbom completes the story in the following report.
Mayors under the banner of the United Councils and Cities of Cameroon have been called upon to bury their differences and work collectively to achieve the set goals of the association and the population which they are called to serve. The call was made by the national president of the United Councils and Cities of Cameroon, Mayor Tamba Augustine, during his maiden visit to
to the Southwest region to install a new Bureau of Executives of the association recently elected into office. In his installation speech, Mayor Tamba Augustin called on mayors of the Southwest region to avail themselves with the opportunities provided by the special status and the implementation of the last phase of the decentralization process.
It was a very good meeting because we want to explain of all the mayors the new strategy of UCC movement, because we have two aims: fighting against poverty and development economic of all our council. We think that the government will give us all full support to do it.
Earlier on, the regional president of the United Councils and Cities of Cameroon for the Southwest region, Mayor Aboko Patrick Anki, congratulated the national president for his brilliant election as president of the association for a second term. He pleaded for a minute of silence to be observed in honor of their deceased colleagues and the innocent children of Kumba who were brutally assassinated by yet to be identified killers. Mayor Aboko Patrick raised a plethora of worries plaguing councils in the Southwest region.
It's no longer a secret that Southwest Council are operating with the mega CRC, which is known as the additional council taxes from Telcom, that cannot even pay full-time salary for council workers. You see, the mayors are like, oh, we have not done this, we have not done this. If we can be liberated, if the council, if the state can even attribute the special financial package to the Southwest Council to take care of the running of our various councils, I think that will be a very, very big relief for us.
The governor of the Southwest region was represented by the Inspector General to the governor's office, who called on the newly installed bureau members to immediately get to work so as to achieve the set goals of the association.
Councillors of Limbe 3 Council have voted the budget for the 2021 financial year. This was during the second ordinary session dedicated to the examination and adoption of the draft budget for 2021 fiscal year. Details with Kumono Rimbo.
The mayor of Limbe 3 Council, Seke Djibouti Luma, has appreciated the sacrifice made by council staffs, management, and stakeholders for the council to be able to move to the new year with a clean balance sheet. The mayor was speaking recently during the second ordinary session dedicated to the examination of the 2021 draft budget. The mayor used the occasion to recognize some stakeholders who have contributed to the development of Limbe 3 municipality, with the Limbe City Mayor, the General Manager of Fcfa, the National Coordinator of the Community-Driven Development Fund, traditional rulers, authorities of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, and service heads identified as major stakeholders whose hard work greatly projects Limbe 3 municipality. The draft budget for the 2021 year witnessed a significant decrease from 810,750,000 francs CFA in 2020 to 650 million francs CFA in 2021. The budget takes into consideration the numerous challenges faced by the Limbe 3 Council with the prevailing socio-economic crisis hampering the collection of revenue. The senior divisional officer for FACO was represented in the session by the divisional officer for Limbe 3 subdivision, Epole Ewane-Verklin, who called on the population to give their support to the mayor for decentralization to reach the grassroots.
I would really like us to take very seriously the market and how it was launched, but it's very, very, very timid. I don't understand why, because I think that we have the population in mind that can make that market.
Investment expenditure stands at 260 million francs CFA, representing 40% of the budget, while recurrent expenditure stands at 390 million francs CFA, representing 60% of the total budget. Some of the projects earmarked for 2021 includes the construction of the second phase of municipal restaurant at Chop Farm, external work at Bonju Manga Hill Park to render it more functional, the rehabilitation of roads at Manawo Bay, specifically at the Bonabile new layout, construction and rehabilitation of boreholes, the supply of three-phase electricity to the Limbe 3 Council new layout and Bonangombe, just to mention these few.
Over 100 soldiers from Central African Republic as well as civilians have found refuge in the east region of the country as conflicts between government forces and rebels deepens in most parts of Central African Republic. Details with Eileen Sama.
This is Cameroon's east region, which shares borders with Central Africa and currently harbors over 100 soldiers and civilians fleeing violence in the Central African Republic. Cameroon's defense forces have been deployed in the area as they battle to stop or prevent rebels from the Central African Republic from crossing into the country. For decades, Cameroon has hosted many refugees from the resource-rich but deeply unstable country that has seen several coups since independence from France 6 years ago. It is worth noting that on Tuesday, Central Africans went to the polls to vote during the presidential elections overshadowed by violence between government and rebel forces. Earlier, the government rejected calls from the opposition to postpone the vote because of insecurity. President Faustin Archange Touadéra is seeking a second term and has accused his predecessor François Bozize of fomenting a coup with rebel groups. The violence in the Central African Republic is said to have escalated due to the fact that rebel groups who have seized several towns close to the capital Bangui had called on people not to vote, causing hundreds to flee the violence, crossing over to Cameroon for safety as the rebels launched several attacks. The governor of Cameroon's East region, Grégoire Mvongo, said the soldiers who arrived Garouabulai recently after rebel attacks in the northwest of the Central African Republic came with their war equipment and were disarmed before being greeted by the divisional officer of Garouabulai and the local military authorities, adding that the soldiers are being housed in a military camp awaiting their return to the Central African Republic once the security situation improves.
Out of the country, restaurants, bars and other leisure spots in South Africa have gone on another partial lockdown following an increase in COVID-19 cases and the discovery of a new strain of virus which is said to be more contagious. According to President Cyril Ramaphosa, the measures could be eased by January if the cases go down. Details of this and more in the following report.
President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has announced a ban on alcohol sales, beach closures, restrictions on social gatherings, and made mask wearing mandatory. Failure to wear a mask could result in a possible prison sentence or fine. The country with the most cases in Africa imposed stricter coronavirus measures after more than 1 million infections were reported, with about 27,000 deaths since the outbreak of COVID-19 in March. President Cyril Ramaphosa also ordered shops, bars and other venues to close by 8 p.m. He stated the measures could be eased by mid-January if cases drop. According to Ramaphosa, reckless behavior due to alcohol intoxication has contributed to increased transmission. Alcohol-related accidents and violence are putting pressure on the emergency units of hospitals. By this ban, restaurants will lose their trading licenses and owners could be prosecuted if they do not comply with the ban. South Africa is also battling a new strain of the virus, which is said to be more contagious. After the December 7th victory of President Nana Akufo-Addo as president of Ghana, Ghana's main opposition party, led by former President John Mahama, has announced they will formally challenge the outcome of the presidential results. Nana Akufo-Addo was declared winner with 51.59% votes, ahead of former President John Mahama of NDC political party with 47.37%. NDC is yet to produce evidence of fraud or provide details of the case it would file. They had announced plans for a protest against the election results last week, but Ghana Police Service secured a court order restraining all demonstrations. Preparations are, however, still on the way to swear in President Nana Akufo-Addo on January 7. Two police officials in Zambia have been dismissed and investigations into the death of two opposition demonstrators opened. President Edgar Lungu ordered investigations and immediate dismissal of two officers. Two protesters were killed on December 23 when riot police broke up a rally outside police headquarters where the main opponent of the Zambian government was being probed. President Lungu received a preliminary report on the deaths of two citizens last week in Lusaka and has made changes in police command to allow for speedy investigation.
Still in Europe, a deadly earthquake of magnitude 6.4 rocked Central Croatia on Tuesday, December 29, 2020. According to data, a series of powerful aftershocks rocked the country again early today, Wednesday, 30th December 2020, killing at least 7 persons, causing further damages to villages and buildings. Rescuers searched rebel for survivors as the country hit rock bottom panic amidst the coronavirus, with dozens injured from the quake, leaving several towns and villages in ruins and over 25,000 inhabitants spending nights in tents, military barracks, and in their cars. Meanwhile, in Latin America, Argentina's Senate approved the bill to legalize abortion in the country. The Senate voted by 38 in favor to 29 against, with 1 abstention. The bill allows the procedure to be effective through the 14th week of pregnancy. This bill, however, goes against the traditional strong influence of the Catholic Church in the region.
With the world news, we end today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for being a part of today's edition. Join us tomorrow, God willing, at 6:30 for another edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Ewane Airline Olinga coordinated and news produced, or produced and news coordinated by Lasha Kingsley. My name is Genda Pelgin Blanche King. Stay tuned to My Media Prime. Right after this, we have Prom Hour with Queen Lunad. Enjoy the rest of today's edition of the program. Good night.